everyone, welcome back to my channel. And today is the second sessions for Spark Streaming. And in these sessions, we will be covering only one topic. We will be writing one code for word count. Okay, so I think that word count example is a very easy example, and it's very easy to write and easy to understand. So this will help us to enter into streaming world, and we will write the Spark code. Okay, so in this session we will be just writing the code for word count, and we will trying to learn the concept. So let's try to remember what we have learned in the first sessions. In the first sessions, we have learned about what is real-time processing, importance of real-time processing. I have given you an example, and mostly we talked about batch durations, then DStreams, RDD, and messages, right? So we talked about what is the meaning of batch durations, what is the meaning of DStreams, what is the meaning of RDD, and what is the meaning of messages or records. I hope it was clear to you. In these sessions, we will write one code and understand all this concept. Okay, good to go. Okay, before starting our code, I will advise you to read my article that I am writing on LinkedIn. Okay, here I have already written some of the articles related to Spark streaming. So if you read the article and then follow the video, it will be much easier for you. So how can you find my articles? You can just go to LinkedIn and just search my name. You will find my link. Okay, if you find my profile, you can just go to feature sections and just click on any article link. Okay, you can just click on this, go to my newsletter, and you will find all my article that I have written. So this is the article, Spark Streaming in layman terms. You can just open. I will also give this link in my video, and you can just go and you can just read it. Okay, I particularly find that reading from some books or reading from some articles or reading from Medium or any other blogs is a much better than learning from video. So if you just read the article, it will give you some gist, and then you can come back to my video and you can just watch my video. That will help you to understand concept in a more depth. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you, and then let's start. Okay, so before starting, let me just tell you that what you need to install and which editor we will be using. So we will be using IntelliJ IDEA. Okay, so how you can install IntelliJ IDEA? You can just type IntelliJ IDEA download. Sorry, give me 1 minute. Cool. So you can just go to their JetBrains website and you can just download the community versions. After downloading that these versions, what you need to do, you need to install a Scala plugin. So let me just write it. Okay, so the first thing that you will be doing, you will be using editor IntelliJ. The spelling of IntelliJ. Just let me just complete. Okay, and then how you will do, you will just install the community version. There are two versions, one is paid version, one is community version. We will be mostly using community version. It's all good. Okay, just download it and you will be able to install. After installing it, you need to install the Scala plugin. Okay, download. Okay, let me just break the line. This is the first step. Then you have to do this step. Then you have to do download Scala plugin in IntelliJ. Okay, so you can just go to IntelliJ, just click on preferences and just type in plugins. So I have already installed. So you can just go to plugins and you can just type for Scala. Okay, so here you can just install the plugins that will help you to write the Scala code. Okay, you can also do this coding using PySpark, not a problem. I don't think language is a constraint. You can either write in Scala, you write in Java, you write in Python. It doesn't matter. You should understand the concept. So, and I assume that you already written some Spark code either in Python, like in PySpark or Java or Scala. So my preference is Scala. I do write most of my code in Scala, so I'm just using Scala. If you want to use Python, go for it, not a problem. Okay. Then I am using SBT. So you can, while creating the project, you can just click on SBT. This is a very simple steps. You can just type on Google how to create one project, Spark Scala code based project using IntelliJ. You will find dozens of materials. I'm using SBT, and in SBT I have already have a Spark code installed, and I am using a Spark SQL. You can use any version. I am using a Spark 3.3.0. I think latest version is 3.3.1 or 2. Okay, and I am using a Spark streaming. Just you have to just pass this. I've also used Kafka in my project. Currently you don't require it, so you can just comment it, and then you can just build this SPT file, and your project will be mostly ready. Cool. So okay, so let's not waste the time. I think installations you are pretty aware of and you will be able to do. And if you are having some problems, feel free to comment down. Feel free to write in comment sections, and I will explain the. I will just post the link. Using that, you can just install the things. Okay, cool. So let's start. Okay, so firstly, you need to understand that this is the streaming pipeline, right? This is the streaming code. There should be some source, right? There can be multiple source. Source can be console, source can be file, source can be Kafka, source can be Kinesis. There can be multiple source. But for this example, we will be just using console because it's very easy to use, and we will use the Netcat server. So I'm just open the terminal. You can just open the terminal like this, and I'm using command nc -lk, and I am passing 999. Okay, or let me use 998. I'm just using the port. What this will do, this will just create one server where I can just write my data. Okay, so this is done. It opened one server, and on port number 9998 I can write multiple things here. I am Ankur. I am trying to help someone. Okay, cool. Let's write the word count code. Okay, so let me just create one class or object. Let me just call it word count demo. Okay, I'm making it object. Let me add it. You can also find this code on my GitHub. Let me just minimize it. I don't need video. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I will just call the main. So here you can see I have just written main and I'm typing enter. So IntelliJ is very smart enough editor. It will just help you to write the code in a very modular way and very easier way. So it has just created a main function. What is the main function? It's very simple. It's like the entry point to your Scala code. So here I will be writing my things. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is to initiate the streaming context. Okay, and how we are going to initiate the streaming context? It's very easy. It's like the most of the code, you don't need to remember that thing. You will be just copying it. Okay, so we will just create one function and we will name it def get streaming context. Okay, for now let me not return anything. Let me just initiate a Spark session. Okay, Spark session. I also don't remember the syntax. I usually copy it. So it's like Spark sessions, then builder dot get it create. I think I'm missing something. So I've already written the code. I will just go and just copy from here. Okay, I'm missing the masters. So it's like very simple code. You can just go and type initiate Spark session in Spark Scala. So there you will find dozen of articles. I usually prefer this particular website, Spark by examples, because I don't remember my code. I just use this code to just copy the code and use it my project. Okay, so I'm just missing what I was missing. I was missing masters. Okay, let me just give it. Okay, in streaming code you should always pass local 1 or 2 because it at least need two things. Okay, two code. You cannot just pass local one. Okay, so this I have initiated the Spark. Now I will be just calling Spark context. Okay, cool, Spark dot Spark context. Now I will be initiating streaming context. Okay, and you don't need to remember this code. You can always copy paste from outside. It's very easy. Okay, I also don't remember it, right? Let me just, I think let me just copy this code instead of writing. That will save my time. I will make you understand. Cool. Here I am passing streaming context and batch durations. So you remember in our session 1 we talked about batch duration. So what does batch duration actually mean? So batch durations mean, let me just pass 30 seconds. So in batch duration it means that in every 30 seconds we will be polling to the server and we will be reading the data, right? And it will create, it will just have all the messages. Like in 130 seconds I can get 30 records, another 30 seconds I might get 20 records, in another I might not get any record any record at. So it's like in that particular durations we are polling to the producers and we are trying to get the data. Okay, so that is the meaning of batch duration. So here this is the batch duration. Let me just define it. Well, batch durations I've already defined in my code somewhere, so I will just give new name. Okay, that is 30, and here I will just pass batch duration new. This has given me streaming context. I will just use IntelliJ to add the returning type. Okay, just I've just gone here, I've clicked here, and I just done that. Okay, it's very easy. You can also type it. Okay, let me just minimize a little bit. Okay, so we have done streaming context. So the first thing that we will be doing is to call this function get streaming context. Perfect. We are ready with the streaming context. We need to recreate the DStreams. Okay, perfect. So you can see that how I'm going to create this is the lines, right? So I need to read it from somewhere, right? So I can just, well, let me just copy the code again. I don't remember it, right? Okay, so this is the code sc.socket.text_streams. So you can always copy, search here, read from socket spark streaming. You don't need to remember your code. Okay, you can just go and just search, but you can also follow the what you call documentations. So let me just go here. In documentation you will find everything. Okay, so this is the things, right? The created DStream that will connect to the host name and port name, right? So here we have just copied sec dot this is the streaming context, and then we are calling socket text stream functions. There we are passing local host and the port number, right? So this will help me to get the DStreams. It's actually not DStream, it's receiver input streams. So we can just check the data type also. So how do I check the data type? Usually what I do, I just pass the wrong thing. Okay, it will just show me that something is wrong, and now I'm getting, oh, I should be passing receiver input strings. Okay, so I will just go and write receiver input string and it is of strings. Okay, now we have got the data lines. Okay, so for any Spark streaming applications that will not run unless you call start functions, and then we have to pass sec dot await terminations. Cool. Here this is the lines, right? We can, what we need to do, we need to divide the incoming records by spaces, right? Here we have to divide the records, right? So I can use flat map, and I'm not making you understand what does flat means, because I do assume that you come from a Spark background and you do know what does flat map and map means. Okay, so that's why I'm not going deep into this particular functions. I do assume that you do understand that what does flat map means. So flat map, we will be passing words, and what we will be doing, we will be just splitting it based on spaces. What this will give me, this will give me all the words with this. So let me just print it only before going and doing anything. Cool. Perfect. What we have done till now, we have the first step is to call the streaming from context, right? Make, yeah, call the streaming context. Then what we are doing, we are creating DStreams. You do understand what is the DStream, right? It's not actually DStreams, input DStreams, but that is the DStream only. Okay, I will make you understand what does the receiver input DStreams means. Creating DStreams. What is DStreams? It is like sequence of RDD, right? In our previous sessions, we have understand what is the meaning of DStreams. Like we are having DStreams, under that we are having RDD, and then we have messages. So whenever we apply any transformations, it is actually applied on DStreams, and underneath it will be actually applied on all the RDD, and then it will be applied on all the messages. So I will also show you one diagram in the end. Okay, that will help you to understand. So let me just do it now itself. In documentation also we can find the same diagram. Just 1 minute. Yeah, see, this is the DStreams, right? So this is the RDD from data from time 0 to 1, from time 1 to, so it's like in one batch duration it will be having this RDD, another this RDD, in another batch duration this RDD, and this RDD, and this sequence of RDD will be called DStreams. Okay, so this is the lines DStreams, right? So whenever we apply any operations, like we have applied one operations called flat map here, right? So behind the scene it will be actually applied on individual RDD only. So that's why we call it a micro batch. So behind the scene it's actually running the batch operation only, okay, on each particular RDD in the DStreams. Okay, so let's see after applying the flat map what we are getting the result. Let me just run it. Okay, it's building. It will take a couple of time. Just wait. And I hope till now you are clear that which all functions we are applying and which all things we are doing. Okay, just 1 minute. Okay, 998. Let me just do 998. It's not able to connect to 9998. That might be busy. I might have done something with that port. Let me read for 9998. I think in terminal also we have opened 998. Cool. So let's go to our terminal and let's write. We are trying to learn Spark streaming. Okay, we'll be able to see this result. Just 1 minute. Okay, so we have given 30 seconds, right? So I will decrease it. So here you can see that it has taken the lines, whatever coming as strings, and then it has converted into this particular words, right? It has divided based on spaces, right? So let me just stop it and let me just pass 5 seconds. Okay, because we wanted to check it little faster, right? Okay, cool. Let's go here and let's type hello world. Okay, so it will show. Just 1 minute. We are trying to learn Spark streaming. Hello world. This is the one batch durations. In 5 seconds, it's got hello world. In next durations, we might write hello again. Let's see. So you will see. See. It was trying to poll in the next 5 seconds and it doesn't get anything. So it has not typed anything. Now, when we go down, we can see that in one duration, it has got these 4 records. Hello, again, let's see. So it's like in one batch duration, you might get some data. You might not get some data. In one batch duration, you might get very large number of records. In other, you might get smaller chunks of records. Okay, I hope it is clear. Now let me stop it. And let's write our code, the remaining code. Okay, so till now we have created lines and divided it based on spaces. Now what we need to do, sorry, I've given, we need to create the words frequency. I hope you might have written this code when you were learning batch processing. I'm just giving the same example, but I'm just handling and doing it in streaming use cases. Okay, so this is like words dot map, and here what we will doing, we'll be passing w, and we will create, for each word we will create one tuple and we will pass one. Okay, so what this will give us, give to us, let me just type it so you will be able to understand. Okay, let me just rerun it. So this will create one tuple with respect to each words, right? So let me just go and live type here, hi there, how are you. We'll see that with each word it will print one, hi there, okay, how are you. Cool, let me just stop it. So till now we are done. We have created one words frequency map. We need to count the this particular one. So how we can do it? We can do it using reduce by key. It's very simple, right? So we will create words count, and we will just do words frequency map dot reduce by key, and then we can just use the syntax like this. It will just add this particular value, right? This is a very pretty simple syntax. You can also write normal long syntax, but I prefer using this particular syntax. Now let's print it. Okay, so I've once we complete our code, I've already written multiple comments, and then we will understand each and every part in a lot depth. Okay, but let's complete our code first, so you will at least have one picture in your mind. Okay, let's rerun it. Okay, let me just go to here and hi, hello, are you there? Cool. So hi one, hello one. Let me just type hi, hello again. Cool. So you will able to see the word count things. Okay, here it's it, are you there? One, just 1 minute. Let me just go down. Let's keep going up. 5 seconds, it's very less time, right? I should have given 30 seconds or 20 seconds, but you can see it here, right? Again one, high one, high one. If I just pass it, let me just increase it. We are not able to see. Let me just increase the batch durations. Okay, 10 seconds or 15 seconds. 15 seconds looks good. And terminal, let's start from the beginning. Let it run. It's running. Let me just type hi, how are you? I am fine. What about you? Okay, I am fine too. Okay, just go and let's see. You can see that if I have repeated you this and question marks 2 times, so it is just counting it 2 times. How 1 time, I 1 times, hi 1 times. So it's like, it's a very simple code. You are able to get it. So this is the very simple code, but this streaming word count frequency or word count code gives a very good idea about the what you call it, about the streaming use cases. So here we have used batch durations. Now we know the meaning of batch duration. Like we are able to see that in one batch we are able to perform some actions, and in another batch we might not receive the data. In one batch we might receive more data. Then we have seen that how to create streaming context, right? Then we have seen what is DStreams, and whenever we are reading from some sockets, it's actually giving us DStreams instead of data frame or RDD, right? So that's like the same way when we were using sc.text file, then we were getting RDD in the case of batch processing, right? When we were doing sc like a read CSV or read or passing this CSV file format, then we were getting data frame, right? So it is same way. If we use the streaming context and then read from a socket text streams, because we are producing data from socket, we will get the these streams. Then the code is very simple. We are just using the flat map, and based on the spaces we are creating the list of words. Then we are just creating with each words we are adding one there and getting tuples, and then we are using reduce by key and just adding this particular one, and that is counting our words. So it's very simple, right? It's very simple. I think you are able to get. But yeah, so I hope you have got this concept. Let me just go to the code that I have written. This is little better code because I have written multiple comments here, and we will try to understand the comments that I've written. So this is a very simple code and very same code that we have just written. Okay, so here also I'm calling get streaming context functions, which is doing the same thing, like the same way we the first thing that we have done, like get streaming context function. Okay, which is just calling a Spark session, then it is calling Spark context, and then it is calling a Spark streaming context, which is like entry point to our program. Okay, so let's go and try to see. So these are some of the points that you should remember. Not all points are very much important, but you should know it, right? Okay, so just read it. So after a context is defined, you have to do the following things. Define the input source by creating input streams. This we already done. Define the streaming context by applying transformation, output transformation to DStreams. We have already done. We have applied a transformation. This is the flat map, right? This particular and this particular. These are two transformations, right? Start receiving data and process it using streaming context. This we have already done. Wait for the processing. This and then we have stopped. We can also stop it, but here we just wanted to run it. But we could have done if you wanted to just contribute one times after the instead of using SCC await terminations, we could have used SCC dot stop after await terminations. Okay, so these are points to remember. Just think. So you have to understand that when the context is started, no streaming computation can be set up or added to it. So you have to, the first thing is that before starting your context, you should be ready with everything. Okay, and in one JVM, what is JVM? JVM is a Java virtual machine where our Scala code and any other code is running, right? In one JVM, in one cluster, we can only have one streaming context. Okay, and a stop is we can use it to stop it, and I think this is very simple. So streaming context is very clear. So you can have one streaming context per JVM, and you have to be ready with everything before starting your streaming context. This is very simple. Now the streams you have already understood. Stream is the basic abstraction provided by Spark Streaming. The same way when we are having normal Spark code, the basic abstraction is was RDD. On RDD, top of RDD we have created data frame and data sets. Here it is DStreams, and what is DStream? DStream nothing but sequence of RDD. Okay, so here it is I've written represent a continuous stream of data, either the input data streams received from source or process data streams generated by transforming the input stream. So we can create the DStreams either by reading from some source, or we can apply some transformations, and that will also create DStreams. So here this is the DStreams, right? What is this? If we apply the transformation, like how do I know the types of this? I just pass wrong value, and it will show. Okay, it's not a string, so it's like DStreams, right? So you got it, right? So whenever we can create these streams either by either by reading from some source, or we can just do transformation on these streams that will also produce these streams. The same way we were applying transformation on RDD, it was creating RDD, like we were applying map, filter. So yeah, so that was also giving us RDD. In the case of streaming, that will also give us these streams. Okay, that's the same concept applies here. Internally, these streams is represented by continuous series of data that you have already seen. I've also given this example. This is the D streams, and what is D stream? This is the continuous RDD, okay, or group of RDD. Each RDD in these streams contain data from certain time interval. So each RDD in this particular, like you can see this particular RDD contains data from time 0 to 1. This content from time 1 to 2. This content from 2 to 3, and this content from 3 to 4. And here you can see that whenever we are applying any transformation, then it is actually applying on individual RDD. So same thing I have also written here. Any operation applied on DStream translate to operations on underlying RDD. I think this is very clear. These are very simple. I've already talked about it. So these underlying RDD are computed by Spark engines. You already know. So now you get the meaning of the RDD, right? So but we have seen that when we are reading from some socket, we are, instead of getting what you call DStreams, we are getting input DStreams. So it's actually DStream only. So you can read it from here. So input DStreams are DStreams representing the streams of input data received from streaming sources. So whenever you create any DStreams from streaming sources, it will actually create input DStreams. Okay, it's very simple, I think. Okay, So and after that, the codes are very easy. We already done this in our batch processing things, right? So we are creating these streams. On these streams, we are trying to apply some transformations like flat map. So we get our result. Then we are creating what's frequency map, and then we have what we are doing. We are reducing by key to count it, right? So this is very simple forward code, but I hope you are able to get it, and you are able to understand the basic concept using this word count example. I hope it makes sense. And yeah, okay, so I hope